Ukraine's latest move has stunned military analysts around the world. After months of careful preparation, intelligence gathering, and coordination with Western allies, Ukraine launched a series of highly precise, devastating strikes deep inside Russian territory. These weren't random attacks. They were targeted blows aimed at crippling Russia's military logistics, command centers, and energy infrastructure, the lifelines of its war machine. The result: chaos across the Russian front, massive fuel shortages, and an unraveling chain of command that has left Putin's generals scrambling. For the first time since the war began, Ukraine has demonstrated that it can project power far beyond its borders. Using long-range drones and advanced Western-supplied weapons, Kiev has shown it can hit strategic targets hundreds of kilometers inside Russia. Oil refineries, air bases, radar installations all have come under Ukrainian fire. This shift from defense to offense marks a new era in the conflict. It's no longer about surviving Russian assaults. It's about making Russia pay a price so steep that it can never fully recover. What's even more remarkable is how Ukraine achieved this transformation. In the early stages of the war, Ukraine was dependent on whatever scraps of military aid it could get. But over time, it turned into a powerhouse of innovation. Ukrainian engineers developed homegrown drones, modified Soviet-era missiles, and created electronic warfare systems that have outsmarted Russian defenses. Each innovation was born out of necessity, and each one brought Ukraine closer to this moment, the point where it could strike Russia where it hurts most. These latest attacks have exposed deep cracks within the Russian system. Reports suggest that panic has spread through Moscow's military and political elite. Air defense systems that were once touted as unbeatable are now failing to intercept Ukrainian drones. Russian citizens are watching explosions in their own cities, a shocking reality that Putin never wanted them to see. The illusion of Russian invincibility has been shattered, and it's not just about military power. Ukraine's strikes have had a massive psychological impact. For years, Russia has tried to intimidate Ukraine and its allies with the fear of escalation, of nuclear threats, of energy cutoffs. But now that fear is fading. Instead, it's Russia that's afraid of losing control, afraid of rebellion at home, afraid of a future where its military might no longer command respect. Ukraine has turned the tables in every sense. Western analysts are calling this moment a strategic revolution. For decades, wars were fought with overwhelming armies, tanks, and artillery. But Ukraine has rewritten the rulebook. With relatively low-cost drones and smart tactics, it's neutralizing one of the largest militaries in the world. This kind of asymmetric warfare has sent shockwaves through defense communities everywhere. NATO officials are reportedly studying Ukraine's playbook, realizing that this model could redefine how smaller nations defend themselves against larger aggressors in the future. Putin's response has been predictable angry speeches, threats of retaliation, and renewed propaganda blaming the West. But deep down, the Kremlin knows it's cornered. The Russian economy is bleeding. Sanctions have gutted its industrial base. The once proud Russian oil industry, the backbone of its finances, is now under direct attack. Every refinery hit by Ukraine cuts deeper into Moscow's ability to fund the war. Without money, without fuel, and with a demoralized army, Russia's long-term prospects look bleak. Inside Ukraine, the mood is entirely different. There's renewed confidence and unity. Every successful strike has boosted national morale. Citizens who once lived in constant fear of missile attacks are now watching their own drones fly into Russian skies. It's a symbol of resilience and payback. For them, this isn't just revenge, it's justice. They're showing the world that tyranny can be resisted and that freedom can fight back, no matter how powerful the enemy. One of the key moments that defined this turning point was Ukraine's use of coordinated drone swarms. Instead of relying on single, high-cost weapons, Ukraine launched hundreds of smaller drones in coordinated waves. They overwhelmed Russian radar systems, confused defenses, and struck critical points simultaneously. It was a masterclass in modern warfare, speed, intelligence, and precision over brute force. This strategy didn't just damage Russian infrastructure, it humiliated its military leadership. Western support also played a vital role. The delivery of long-range missiles and advanced technology from the U.S., UK, and other allies gave Ukraine a critical edge, but what made the difference was how effectively Ukraine used them. Unlike Russia, which often wastes resources in reckless assaults, Ukraine used every weapon strategically, maximizing its impact. Western officials now admit that Ukraine's operational intelligence and tactical innovation exceeded all expectations. Meanwhile, Russian forces are collapsing on multiple fronts. Desertion rates are rising. Soldiers are running low on supplies and morale. Videos have surfaced of Russian troops complaining about being abandoned without support. Commanders are being replaced almost weekly. Even Russian state media, once tightly controlled, can no longer hide the scale of the disaster. Putin's inner circle is reportedly divided, with some urging negotiation and others pushing for escalation, a dangerous mix that could lead to even more instability. As the war grinds on, one thing has become clear: Ukraine has fundamentally changed how wars are fought in the modern age. It's a combination of courage, intelligence, and adaptability that has stunned the world. Russia's traditional advantages, manpower, tanks, and artillery, have proven useless against precision strikes, mobility, and real-time intelligence. What's happening now is more than a conflict. It's a military evolution unfolding in real time. In response to these losses, Russia has attempted to retaliate with missile strikes on Ukrainian cities. But even those are losing effectiveness. Ukraine's air defenses, now stronger and more integrated than ever, have intercepted the majority of incoming threats. Each failed Russian attack only underscores how the momentum has shifted. Even pro-Russian analysts are admitting that Moscow's chances of victory are fading fast. The international reaction has been swift. Western nations that were once hesitant to send more advanced weapons are now openly discussing giving Ukraine even greater capabilities. The success of Ukraine's strategy has convinced policymakers that supporting Kyiv isn't just morally right, it's strategically wise. Every failure of Russia weakens its global influence, from Europe to the Middle East to Asia. Economically, the damage to Russia is irreversible. Energy revenues are plummeting. Sanctions continue to bite deeper. Skilled workers are fleeing the country. Foreign investors have long since vanished. The ruble is unstable, and inflation is rising. The Russian people, once told that this war was about protecting the motherland, are starting to question everything. The propaganda is losing its grip as the truth becomes impossible to hide. Ukraine, on the other hand, is emerging as a symbol of modern resistance. Its ability to rebuild, adapt, and strike back has inspired countries across the world. From Taiwan to the Baltics, nations threatened by larger aggressors are learning from Ukraine's tactics. What was once seen as a desperate struggle is now a blueprint for how freedom can survive in the 21st century. But make no mistake, this fight is far from over. Russia is wounded but not yet finished. It still possesses massive reserves of weaponry and a leadership desperate to cling to power. Yet every passing week makes recovery harder. Every lost factory, every destroyed refinery, every failed assault chips away at its strength. The long-term damage is staggering, and even if Russia continues to fight, it's fighting a losing battle against time, resources, and global isolation. As we look at the bigger picture, one can't help but realize how history is being rewritten before our eyes. A nation that was supposed to fall in a matter of days has not only survived but is now dictating the terms of the war. Ukraine's resilience has reshaped global geopolitics. NATO is stronger and more united than ever. Europe is more determined to break free from Russian energy dependence. Even countries that once stayed neutral are reassessing their positions. For Putin, this is the nightmare scenario he feared the most. His dream of a resurgent Russian empire has crumbled into a costly, humiliating quagmire. His army is bleeding, his economy is collapsing, and his international reputation is in ruins. Inside the Kremlin, paranoia reigns. Trust has evaporated, and even loyal insiders are reportedly fearing for their futures. Ukraine's actions didn't just damage Russia militarily, they shattered the myth of its greatness. Ukraine's victory is not yet complete, but its momentum is undeniable. Every successful strike, every liberated village, every exposed lie brings it closer to triumph. This isn't just about reclaiming territory, it's about reclaiming dignity, sovereignty, and hope. The Ukrainian people have shown that courage and innovation can overcome tyranny, and that message is echoing around the world. As the months ahead unfold, the war will continue to test both nations. But the balance has shifted permanently. Even if Russia manages to hold some ground, it will never again be the superpower it once claimed to be. Ukraine has ensured that. It has changed the course of the war, and in doing so, it has changed history. The world is witnessing the rise of a new kind of power, one built not on fear, but on determination. Ukraine's transformation from victim to victor is a story for the ages. Russia may never recover from this blow, because the real damage isn't just physical. It's psychological, political, and moral. The myth of Russian dominance is gone forever, replaced by a new reality that even the mightiest aggressor can fall when confronted by the will of a free people. And as this chapter continues, one thing is certain: Ukraine has already won something far greater than any battlefield victory. It has won the world's respect, admiration, and a place in history as the nation that changed the war forever.